Hey, what's good, guys? Joe Mama here, and today we're going to be going over my Week 3 matchup in the VDL against the Carolina Incineroars. And the Carolina Incineroars teams consist of Breloom, Tyrantrum, Swampert, Combuskin, Linoon, Magnemite, Yanmega, Haunter, Bisharp, and Farigiraf, with the two Terra captains being Combuskin and Haunter. So let's look at the team. This team can be kind of weird to explain without kind of going through one by one. Like, I feel like there isn't really like a cohesive theme, more so just a bunch of individual mons here that are really good against a lot of his team, because his team is incredibly strong and incredibly scary. But one, I guess, kind of fundamental weakness with it is that some of the best mons in the team have quad weaknesses that can be exploited pretty easily. So yeah, let's get right into it. So, what I hope to be the star of the show, Cleavor. He is a 4-attack expert belt, 252 plus attack nature. He's adamant. And kind of the point of this mon is if he leads Swampert, which is very likely considering Swampert has a pretty decent matchup on paper, I guess, into all of these Pokemon on my team. Cleavor won't get one shot by by Swampert if it's like a defensive set, which it likely will be because I just foresee most Swampert sets being defensive. And even better if he predicts the switch and sets up Stealth Rocks. I can Trailblaze turn 1, kill with either kill or threaten to kill with Trailblaze turn 2. Likely he'll switch. And then I'll have +2 speed and outspeed everything on his team, including the potential Choice Scarf Haunter or any other Choice Scarf mon on his team with +2 speed. And at that point, I can hopefully kill 3 or 4 of his Pokemon with just Cleavor. I guess kind of one thing I do need to watch out for is he has some Pokemon with really scary priority with Sucker Punch Bisharp and arguably the most scary, Technician Mach Punch Breloom. And I guess one thing with Breloom is that it has a really scary set, not in this, like its Smogon set is really scary, I guess, with Mach Punch, because it is, a lot of people opt to use Choice Band on this Pokemon, and Choice Band Technician Mach Punch can shred through teams, man. Even to some like neutral targets, some of the more frail neutral targets, it hits for well above 50%. So I need to be careful with that. But outside of that, yeah, Cleavor has a really good time into this team. Close combats for the likes of Tyrantrum and Bisharp. X-Scissor is just kind of neutral stab against a lot of his team, and because of Cleavor's high attack stat, it can kill a lot of Pokemon on his team, such as kind of an offensive Breloom set, even the likes of Farigiraf as well, because it's super effective against it. And it's like a rough switch in for a lot of the Pokemon, obviously, as well, if he's trying to switch out. And Stoneaxe, obviously, for rocks and quad effectiveness against Yanmega. So then we have Machamp. If people have been watching my videos, I literally bring the same set every week. It's really good and has not let me down yet, so I had no reason to switch it up this week. I did consider running Guts this week, more so than I guess previous weeks, because I don't know, just wanted to switch it up, but the tried and true AV 4 attacks, no guard is come in clutch so far. So yeah, hopefully it puts in work again this week. It's really important in that it can withstand a hit from a Swords Dance Bisharp and then revenge kill it with Dynamic Punch. It has priority with Bullet Punch, which also can be super good against Dragon Dance Tyrantrum. Stone Edge for, once again, the quad weakness on Yanmega, and then knockoff just for the likes of Eviolite Bisharp. And also, if they're predicting a fighting type move, they may switch into Haunter. And then, obviously, it's super effective against Haunter, and if not killing it, greatly crippling it. And I can maybe kill it the following turn with Bullet Punch. So yeah, it's kind of my champ set, more defensive. But once again, I've used it every week and it has not let me down so far. So let's keep it going. So yeah, my starting set's pretty interesting this week. I used Natural Cure the previous 2 weeks, and now I've started using Analytic for the offensive potency of it. I didn't know because I don't play too much newer gen Pokemon, but I didn't know that Analytic procs on switching Pokemon. So if y'all don't know what Analytic does, it gives you a Life Orb 1.3 times boost to your moves, but it only does this if you move second. So obviously I was thinking of Starmie. He's so fast. Everything he's going to be fighting he'll outspeed, so there's no point. But now that I know if someone switches, because technically that switch happens before you attack, you'll do crazy damage to whoever switches in on. And I really want to utilize this week with just the most powerful Hydro Pump I can muster with choice specs, 252 plus special attack, and and then just a stab Hydro Pump for just the most amount of damage possible. I did the calcs. Nothing switches into this well. I think this kills every single Pokemon on his team in one shot. Besides Bisharp on the or actually I think maybe even Bisharp on the Switch. I have to check again. But if you like Bisharp on the Switch, if it doesn't kill, I remember it kills under rocks 100%. It might not kill under rocks, but I think maybe like the off meta defensive Breloom, it might not kill as well, but everything else, nothing can switch into it. So that's super crazy. And yeah, I think it's just a really safe kind of send in your Pokemon. It outspeeds his entire team with his, unscarfed, I guess, with his EV spread. So I just kind of send him in and click Hydro Pump over and over, and hopefully that'll do the job. Here we have my Lightbird this week. Similar concept to last week. It's kind of like the anti-setup Pokemon. T-Wave and Encore can kind of cripple Pokemon such as Linoon, Tyrantrum, even like an SD Breloom set, perhaps. Maybe a Stored Power kind of Calm Mind Farigiraf. I decided to use Prankster for kind of the off chance of like the speedier Pokemon, like Linoon and Tyrantrum. With the expense, I guess, of not being able to paralyze or encore the Bisharp, but I built a lot of my team around this, like Machamp. So that's kind of like the trade-off, but I really want to be able to not instantly lose against like a +2 Tyrantrum, if that makes sense. The other two moves are for utility, U-turn for pivoting, and knockoff. Once again, a lot of his Pokemon are crippled by losing Eviolite or even some of the more defensive mons on his team, like Swampert, probably won't really like losing its item. So just another reason to run it there. And I decided to make it Terra Fairy for the knockoff on Bisharp, because once again, I wanted to be able to do something against that Pokemon. I kind of identified that as the best Pokemon on his team. And yeah, I want to be able to knock that off. So Terra Fairy will be able to withstand a +2 Sucker Punch from it, and then knock off the item before it dies. So it's kind of that thought process there. Also pretty good against like priority Mach Punch Breloom as well. So next, first week for Audino. So we're using Mega Audino. He's full defensive because most of his team that I find scary, besides the Omega, is physical offense instead of special offense. Kind of as you would expect from Audino, more of a support role as Heal Bell. For just in case, he does like he has a Magnemite on his team, and there's like a cheese strat with Toxic and Recycle with like a Berry Juice for like level 1 Magnemite. Yeah, it really sucks, and it's not super good, but it's one of those things where I have to like kind of bring something for it just in case. So I have Heal Bell for that. And other things like Farigiraf runs T-Wave a lot. Breloom runs Spore occasionally. So it's kind of just like kind of a check to that. Dazzling Gleam is like my one attack for stab. And it hits Breloom pretty hard. It hits Tyrantrum hard. And yeah, and it hits a lot of his threats for neutral. But that's not the main reason it's there. It's just if Odd knows my last Mon, I want to be able to have some sort of offensive move that I can do to like kind of finish off a game if need be. Then we have T-Wave, once again, just to cripple kind of his faster attackers. And lastly, and I think most importantly, we have Healing Wish, which can be used to kind of fully restore like these low health, like kind of heavy hitters like Cleavor or Starmie, depending what I need in that situation to hopefully win the game out. So yeah, really cool stuff there. Lastly, we have Michael Jackson Oricorio. We are bringing the Fire Oricorio this week. I opted not to bring Incineroar because I'm afraid of Defiant Bisharp, and I'm aware I considered running Blaze Incineroar. I just wasn't feeling it. I would have either run kind of a U-turn Intimidate set with Incineroar if I did run it, and I was really, really close to running it, but I kind of settled on this Pokemon. It has a very weird EV spread, but it's enough to kind of kill the threats it's meant to kill. Revelation Dance one-shots Yamega, and it also one-shots Breloom. An offensive Breloom. Excuse me, I should say an offensive Breloom, because there is a chance he brings defensive, but I'm not super worried about it, to be honest. I feel like offensive is just that much better that he probably won't bring like a defensive Breloom. But if he does, it won't one-shot it, but it'll get close, you know? And then Alluring Voice is for the Tyrantrum. And what's kind of cool about this Pokemon as well is I can switch in on a Tyrantrum that's Dragon Dancing, and he'll copy the attack and speed boost from Dragon Dance using his ability Dancer, allowing me to still outspeed it and hit super effective with Alluring Voice, which is really cool. Obviously, Heavy Duty Boots is like kind of mandatory on this Pokemon because it has a quad weakness to Stealth Rocks. And then bringing Defog as well because I said, hey, you know, I didn't really need that last slot for anything. I considered Roost, and I considered what else? Roost was the main one I was considering, but I ended up bringing Defog just because a lot of his rolls, especially with Bisharp, kill through like with rocks against some of my key Pokemon. So it's just nice to have an extra kind of way to get rid of hazards besides Starmie, especially since Starmie is locked into one attack with this choice item. So yeah, kind of a quick preview. I think it will be one of those things where he has some threats and I have some threats, and we'll see kind of who wins, right? But I'm pretty happy with the team this week, and hopefully I'll pilot it well. I will see you guys at the battle. Hey guys, we're at the battle. Well, sort of, I guess. I decided to try something different this week. I did record the battle live, and I kind of got sidetracked, just kind of thinking and strategizing during the fight. I didn't really provide commentary, I guess I was really proud of, so I'm going to kind of go back through the fight and do some, I guess, post-match commentary. Let me know in the comments if you like this or prefer this or care. Likely, if there's any overwhelming pushback against it, I'll probably continue this in the future. I think it's a lot easier for me to kind of think when this happens. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, as you can see here, he brought Swampert, Breloom, Yamega, Linoon, Bisharp, and Farigiraf. Pretty similar to the team I thought he was going to bring. A little surprised Tyrantrum's not here. And I wasn't really expecting Linoon too much either. But kind of going into it, I was looking at this and I'm like, it's pretty favorable. And as you'll see, I started Cleavor because I was almost certain from looking at my team he was gonna lead like a defensive Swampert. And I was really scared fighting. I was really scared he was going to be kind of like a choice spec, tinted lens set, and that would have like almost one-shot Cleavor. So you'll see I switch out here into Oricorio, but he ended up switching too. So I was like, darn, that really stinks. Switching back, obviously, because Swampert's really good. against Oricorio. Now, here, I could have switched to avoid sleep, but I decided not to because I have Heal Bell on my Audino, and I was like, okay, I can just wake this Pokemon up later. May also thought I had Natural Cure, which may be kind of something that he may be thinking about as well, and kind of not really considering the analytic possibility. But maybe after seeing how much damage it did to his Swampert, he would probably consider differently. But I just want to get some damage on the Swampert, because that is one of the more defensive Pokemon on his team, at the expense of being put to sleep. So he switches into Linoon, and I go to sleep. Here, I made a huge misplay, so you'll see. So I forgot about priority brackets, and I thought my priority bracket was higher, so I just threw away a Pokemon. I was trying to Encore the Linoon, as you can probably guess. I should have switched immediately into Machamp, but I just threw away one of my Pokemon for free. So Liper did nothing this week because I just tossed them away like it was nothing. But yes, this doesn't kill. So I revenge kill it with D-Punch. I send an Audino. Hit speed knockoff obviously doesn't do anything because I have the Mega Stone. T-Wave to hit the Ferrograph, and then a Heal Bell to cure my Starmie. I can totally set up screens now. I use that move just in case he switches on into the screens, right? And it's like Braylon would still take a bunch of damage. That was kind of the main reason behind it. I feel like he can't really do anything here. I assume after I see the light screen go up, he's probably like double screens, kind of like T-Wave support Pokemon, and I don't really care if Audino gets T-Wave too much because I can heal it up, and she's kind of slow to begin with, so it's not something I'm really worried about. I'm kind of just hoping she doesn't switch into Breloom, right? Or I guess getting some damage off on the Bisharp would be nice as well. By switching to Kleavor, switching to Bisharp. Okay, so right here, I know he's Scarfed, which is very crazy. And I remember during the fight, I was like, is he Scarfed? I was really confused because that's not very typical. Obviously, you would expect a Eviolite, which is also a great item on Bisharp now that he's not a fully evolved Pokemon. But now I know, because I made Kleavor so he has to be faster than Bisharp if it's not Scarfed. So now I know he's Scarfed. But this really does suck because Bisharp has a pretty favorable matchup into the... Kleavor has a pretty favorable matchup into the rest of his team, especially now that his Swampert is below 50% health. So I can one-shot it with Trailblaze. But I flinch, which really sucks, which would have killed, obviously. I had to switch out. He Iron Heads. He's forced to switch into Swampert. I hit him for, or excuse me, I think I Quiver Dance here. Yep. Because I expected to switch. Kind of realized I wouldn't be doing anything to him, so I switched out again. We can make this slower as well. I've never done this before. It's kind of cool. Okay. So I can kind of talk slower, which is nice. He predicted the T-Wave, so he switched into this, which is nice. I send out Starmie. He sets up screens. But I still just shoot through the screens because I have so much firepower in that Hydro Pump. His Baton Passage is really interesting. So he sends, obviously sends this back out. I'm afraid of Knockoff now because I know he's choice. He still might have Sucker Punch. I don't know yet. And as you can see later throughout the game, I can play around him having Sucker Punch as well. And I do so. But he ends up Iron Heading. He predicts the switch. Fortunately, doesn't do much damage to Oricorio. He switches back out to Swampert. I hit him for Pea Shooter damage. The reason I did that is, once again, a lot of his Pokemon are weak to the Fire-type attack. And it was not obvious, but it was likely to switch into Swampert, but there's no immediate drawback to just hitting it, and I can switch out, because I feel it's a pretty passive Pokemon. It has Flip, Turn, Yawn. I already know it has Rock Slide as well, so It can immediately threaten me with Rock Slide, so I have to switch, but I'm not too scared about it, I would say. Send back and Star Me. Flip turn, makes sense. So now I know he's Bisharp. So now what I do is I knew last time he predicted the switch with Iron Head, and I was still scared of Sucker Punch. So I was like, what's kind of like a middle of the road kind of play I can make that kind of gets around both of them? I thought I was T-waving here because Sucker Punch doesn't activate, or you can't use it when the opponent uses a non-damaging move. And as you'll see, it proves to be very useful. They paralyze later in the game. So Yamega couldn't kill and didn't flinch with the Air Slash, so it's one shot, which is really big here. Obviously Swampert. I decided to sack the Oricorio. I don't really think it has... It does have use, but I can't really switch into it anymore, and I'm happier with a lot of my other Pokemon. First time we see Braylon here. So now I realize, oh, he has Spore, which I kind of should have known because of just how good that move is, but I just didn't really think about, oh, if I get my my status, if I get my cleric to be asleep, that's bad because I can't use Heal Bell if I'm asleep. So he does a lot of damage. What I do here is I know he's going to be close to dead. I just decide I'm going to use Healing Wish and Pray. First turn Wake Up, super huge, game changing. You'll see. It won't be the game. You can just look at you can look at the standings and see that I won. But yeah, I guess for those that didn't know, yeah, this came in clutch because it gave me pretty much effectively a new Pokemon. More of a defensive side of Braylon as well, which is pretty interesting because, as you can see, 6% health. But right here, super big, Rock Tomb doesn't kill either, and he stays in because he doesn't know I have Bullet Punch. He thought I was trying to sack, which I was, but it just helped that I had Bullet Punch. We have Fergarath. I outspeed because it's paralyzed, so I hit the Dynamic Punch, so it's paralyzed and confused. He gets his Ipapa Berries to heal its health. Sets up Reflect. I knew it was dual screens at this point. Here I decided to knock off, I think. I'm pretty sure. Just in case of the switch. I feel like this was a misplay. I don't know why I thought knocking off was a good idea here. That was needless. I should have kept using Dynamic Punch. Yeah, unfortunately it hits through Paralyze. Cleavor doesn't wake up, and Cleavor goes down. Obviously I could have exited it and killed it. So here, I have 2 Mons left with very little HP. A Hydro Pump here doesn't kill through screens, and he cannot kill with Psychic. So I have a Mon of 12% and 6% left. I kill the Fergarath with Hydro Pump. At this point, the win con here is Starmie, because I've realized this is a more offensive Bisharp without Eviolite, and I kind of realized, oh, I can just kill this thing with Hydro Pump, assuming I don't miss, which obviously puts me at a huge disadvantage because Hydro Pump only has 80% accuracy, and I was like, the entire fight was like, please don't miss, please don't miss, please don't miss. But you're still scared of the Sucker Punch. What this does is it's not favorable even if he does use Sucker Punch, because I'll have to predict when he switches, essentially, because if he catches Big Fella, my Machamp, in, and he switches to Swampert, I still lose because Swampert can beat, with its HP, can beat Machamp one-on-one, and I can't switch because Starmie will die. And then, obviously, if he had Sucker Punch, he could just come out and use it again and kill Starmie. But if I could kind of fake him out a bit and he had Sucker Punch, and I somehow had Starmie out when he switched to Swampert, I could Hydro Pump the Swampert, and then I would switch back to Machamp And if he has Sucker Punch because he's choiced, he'd have to keep using it, and I can switch, and keep switching until he struggles, and I can kill him with my Star Mirror Machamp after that happens. So once again, it would turn like a 0-win situation to like a marginal percentage chance win situation. But as you see, he Psycho Cuts, so I don't think he probably doesn't have Sucker Punch. So now I know, and I'm like, all right, kill, and he killed. I don't know if this GG was meant for like he knew I won at that point, or he thought I won because I had Hydro Pump, or if he thought he won at that point. I don't know, but I just responded to GG because I did not know if I'd win. Because obviously, if I miss the next Hydro Pump, it's all over. But as you will see, I do not. And in the recording I made prior to making this video, I was screaming and yelling and going crazy because I think it was super lucky, by the way. I mean, like, I'll be the first to tell you, like, especially after throwing away Lightbird like that, I did not deserve to win that fight. 100% not. But I hit the Hydro Pumps when I needed to. Didn't miss a single one. And obviously the big thing was waking up on the first turn of sleep to restore my Cleavor, who was almost dead to full health. But yeah, I underestimated the Breloom. I don't know why, like, it sounds so weird to be like, I didn't know he'd use Spore, because obviously, like, Spore is, like, probably the best status move in Pokemon. I'm thinking about other ones that could rival it, but I feel like that one's just the best one because it has 100 accuracy. And obviously Sleep is super broken. But yeah, I'm really glad that the choice specs Hydro Pump Starmie kind of came clutch here. It was really cool and definitely kind of like my Pokemon of the match this week. And like I said this in I'm pretty sure I said this in like the preview. Like, this Machamp, I mean, it traded 2 for 1 today. This Pokemon is so underrated. Like, this Pokemon is so good. I love it so much. And kind of off topic, I'll close out the video after this, but I feel like Eviolite Machoke, same kind of strategy, just no guard, dynamic punch. I bet that Pokemon's really good. I don't know like what it would be for its cost. I don't even know what its cost is. It's probably like a 2. I'd have to guess a 2 cost. It's probably really good, being able to Terra it and use dynamic punch. But yeah, it was a good game. I got a few things go my way, but a win's a win nonetheless, and we'll take it. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this over me commentating during the fight, and if you don't, just let me know. And I'd be willing to go back and do a recording during the fight. But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take care. See you next week.